It's Caitlin from MillerFlowers out here in Greenville, Ohio, and for today's episode I was trying to think of what I wanted to talk about since there wasn't a whole lot of things going on out here at MillerFlowers during the month of July, except for a lot of cleaning and organizing. But that may be a little boring to some to watch us clean and organize. I'm going to give you all a tour of what is blooming out here at MillerFlowers for the month of July. Out at the perennial house to show you what all is going on out here. So if you were out here in the spring, you remember all of the plants out here, tables and tables of plants, but now we are turning this over into a mum growing area. So these are fall mums. Yes, mum season is upon us. It's coming soon. We have just got done, or they actually, Gina and Mindy spaced all of the mums. And so these fall mums, we're going to be water every day, and we're going to be watering soon twice a day as it gets hotter and these plants get bigger and they just need more fertilizer and water to grow. So we'll be doing that. Yes, these mums are considered hardy in our Zone 5 area, though we do not guarantee them because sometimes they're not quite as hardy as they once were. So they don't always come back. I think a lot of it has to do with when you plant them. If you plant your fall mums, again, like in October, they don't really have very long to get established into the ground so that they can come back the following year. So we would recommend, if you are planting mums, want them to come back the following year, we would recommend planting them early enough in the season. So like August, September, like around September, mulch them well watered, and that's more of a guarantee that they will come back next year. Again, we don't guarantee them, but you could probably see more of a success in them coming back the following year if you plant them earlier and keep them well watered during the summer, hot summer, fall months. So growing lots of mum hanging baskets as well, so those look really gorgeous on your porch or patio or wherever you decide to hang them. The perennial section, we have this beautiful milkweed, so called Asclepias, and it is in full bloom. They attract butterflies and caterpillars. So if you are looking for a pollinator plant for your garden, check out milkweed. Check out this gorgeous Stokes aster or Stokesia. It is a gorgeous perennial, also attracts butterflies as well. Is Leucanthemum or Shasta Daisy. So yes, these are also blooming right now as well. You could check them out in your garden. Leucanthemum takes the full sun, it spreads, and it is a gorgeous perennial. What's blooming is Rudbeckia, otherwise known as Black-Eyed Susan. So this is a perennial plant here in the Ohio area as well. It spreads, it takes the full sun, and it blooms during the summer. Gorgeous plant, also makes a great cut flower. Few of the plants in the perennial house. We are actually getting a new shipment of perennials coming in possibly next week, I believe. And so be on the lookout for some posts on our Instagram and our Facebook about new perennials that are coming in, new fresh perennials. So we are excited about getting some new plants in. I'm going to take you to the cut flower house where we have lots of cut flowers that are blooming. We need to do a big harvest tomorrow, so you're going to be seeing some fresh blooms that need to be harvested. Licianthus, status, gomphrena, celosia, sunflowers, and more. It's our cut flower area. I don't know if you've ever been back here before, but we grow cut flowers to use in our floral designs, in our weddings, and different events that we have out here at MillerFlowers. And so this right here is status. It is a gorgeous annual in our area. I think in some areas it can reseed itself, but we grow it as an annual here in Ohio. We also use it as a dried flower, do a succulent pumpkin workshop in the fall. So we'll be growing this plant for that workshop. Is gomphrena. So this flower as well is a dried flower, or we're growing it as a cut flower to use in dried. So this will also go into the succulent pumpkin workshop as well. It dries great, and it also works in fresh flower bouquets too. All of our cut flowers that we are growing are for drieds. We're also using a lot, I guess, for fresh bouquets as well. All of the flowers that we are growing are annuals, so they will not come back the following year here in Ohio. We do grow a few perennials like peonies and hydrangeas and delphiniums that will come back for us year after year. Most of it is annuals. Here we have our gorgeous Licianthus field. If you've never grown Licianthus before, you should give it a try. Licianthus is so beautiful, and we call it a summer rose, and it lasts about 7 to 10 days in a vase. It lasts a long time. It just is full of ruffles and blooms, and we love using it in weddings in place of roses. It's a really gorgeous flower. Licianthus is an annual in our area, and it grows in the full sun. So the next stuff we have growing is Celosia or Celosia, whichever pronunciation you prefer. But Celosia is also commonly known as coxcomb. It is a great cut flower as well, lasts a long time in vases, and you could also dry it. It dries really well. It's a different colors from yellow, fuchsia red, this pink. Grows in the full sun, and it is an annual in our area as well. Our tomato area, and picked our first tomato. To the flower field out here in the outside in the outdoor area. The flower field out in the outdoor area, and this is what we have blooming. We have zinnias. We also have some sunflowers down there. Have some beautiful corn that's starting to grow, or it's broom corn and Indian corn. And then I have this trellis area where we're actually growing morning glories to cover the entire trellis area, creating a walkthrough for kids to go under, like a tunnel. Tell if you are fighting weeds, you are not alone. We are too. After that big rain this week, we have weeds everywhere. We need to spend an entire day or two just weeding. Another thing we noticed while we were out here walking around this morning is that we have Japanese beetles. And these beetles love to munch on plants. And so one way we have found that works at getting rid of Japanese beetles is taking a bucket of soapy water and gently knocking the plant against the bucket of water and knocking those beetles into the water. You can also pluck them off and squish them. Some different things on using neem oil to get rid of Japanese beetles, and of course you can always use 7 dust as well. Beetles are one of the most invasive insects here in the Ohio area. They really do destroy your plants and other agriculture plant crops as well. Look at our sunflowers. Quick tour of our flower farm area and what's blooming out there. We actually have cut down quite a bit on what all we grow in our flower farm, just because we're not quite using it as much since we've pretty much transitioned away from so much floral work. And so we're growing things that we can use as dried flowers in our workshops and sell to others and use throughout the week as well. And so that is a few of what's growing in our flower farm. Here to our flower beds, I wanted to show you what is blooming in some of our flower beds. So the Echinacea that we have planted maybe about 10 years ago is in full gorgeous bloom, and it is beautiful. Here 2 weeks ago, and this entire place was just wilting, and so we actually turned the sprinkler on and it revived it a bit, and then a few days later it rained. And I have never watered Echinacea before that was fully established. That is drought tolerant, but this year we were watering it. Notice that on some different plants that we have, like hydrangeas and various things, plants that we grow, that even though they're fully established, you still need to be watering them periodically as well. We took down a tree, and so we decided to plant it with petunias. This is a bunch of wave petunias. Our hibiscus plant with tidal wave petunias. We brought in some more plots of petunias, and we have bubblegum petunias planted at the sign. In the sunset, it is beautiful. Our bubblegum petunias are starting to fill out in the front flower bed. This always makes a gorgeous display every year. Over here, the Annabelles. This is the Annabelle hydrangea, and it is in full bloom, and it is beautiful. The wind and rain kind of split the hydrangeas in the center, so what we'll do is pull them up and tighten the rope around them, straighten them up a bit. So last but not least, I wanted to end with this Jasberry Supertunia hanging basket. So this is on our front porch, about ready to walk indoors. This is the newest Supertunia on the market. It's called Jasberry by Proven Winners. Thank you all for watching. I'm Caitlin from MillerFlowers, and see you next time.